Never before has there been this much breaking news in the pro wrestling world, on a holiday weekend, mind you, than this year. And this breaking news is significant. This is the type of breaking news that will rattle and even shake up the pro wrestling world. From the latest on Sasha Banks, AJ Lee, Andrade, Kevin Dunn, and much more. We'll see how much I can fit into a 15 to 20 minute upload, because that's all the time we're working with at this juncture. It's the holiday weekend. It's New Year's Eve, which, by the way, first and foremost, Happy New Year to each and every one of my subscribers out there, especially my channel members. Enter 2024 fully amplified and whoop that ass. Happy New Year. And to Merge and A. Merrick, longtime subscribers and Gold Team, Merge, A. Merrick. I appreciate you guys. Much love and respect. Thank you for the coffees from the super thanks down below. I think that was the live stream after we were live and that was put up on the channel. I think that's when those coffees came in. But via the super thanks down below. I appreciate you guys big time. Never needed, always appreciated. Merge and A. Merrick. Wanted to make sure I gave you guys that shout out. So with these stories, again, I ain't got a lot of time. I don't even have a fresh cup of coffee from the Amplifier 5000 machine behind me. I'm going to have to grab a Dunkin' on the road, and I'm cool with that. But these are stories that have to be talked about. We'll start with Sasha Banks. If you guys did not catch the upload yesterday, we talked about the reports that are stating WWE has stopped all talks with Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, for a WWE return. BC said not so fast. There's countering reports that are saying WWE just paused the talks till after the holidays. Big difference between stopping the talks and walking away and pausing them for a later discussion. And that's what we're being told now WWE is doing with Mercedes. They might not strike a deal. Mercedes has a high asking price and it's justified. She has earned that right in the wrestling world to ask for bare minimum the same that Charlie Flair is getting. That's not an outrageous thing to ask for. And she more than has earned it. Not just deserves. She has more than earned it. So we talked yesterday in that upload, and I'm just hearing that that is pretty much a doubled down report. Talks have paused. That does not mean Mercedes will end up in WWE. Confirmed, but talks are still ongoing. So everything you heard in the last 24 hours, not so fast. Take it with a grain of salt is the old saying. We heard the same thing about CM Punk. BC heard the same thing from my people. CM Punk is not showing up to WWE. He will not be at Survivor Series. And CM Punk showed up at Survivor Series. So when you hear these reports, just take it with a grain of salt. Mercedes Moné may not return to WWE yet. One day she will. That is confirmed by me. I am telling you that just like I told you one day CM Punk would be back. It might not be imminently for Mercedes if she does sign elsewhere, but at least the talks are still ongoing with WWE. We'll take it. Speaking of people that will return one day to WWE, that brings me to my next big topic. Big breaking news. AJ Lee returning to WWE. Now the question is out there, right? From AJ's teases alone, just like Banks for a whole month now has been teasing nothing but WWE, right? WWE post teases, speculation. She knows what she's doing. And she's trying to drive up that price too. Smart. AJ Lee. CM Punk started this first when he came back, right? He mentioned his wife, AJ Mendez, AJ Lee, several times. Once in one of his first promos when he said AJ sends her love, her best. Right there, live TV, hot mic. And he mentions AJ. I thought that was pretty cool. There was another time, I think this was in NXT. He went up to Cora Jade and he mentioned AJ Lee again to Cora, who was a big AJ Lee and CM Punk fan growing up. So that was pretty cool. There's been several mentions of AJ Lee on television. Pretty cool. AJ herself recently put up a post of her and her heel castmates, the show Heels, and she put up a photo of AJ herself in the ring with fellow castmates. And it was funny. A lot of her fellow talent or former talent, however you look at it, they either liked it or commented on that post. CM Punk just said, "You still got it," in the comments to AJ's post. Cora Jade liked it. Obviously, Bailey and many others. But on top of that, guys, it's the recent post that AJ Lee just put up. This is the one that's got the pro wrestling world talking. Kind of stole the thunder in the headlines from Sasha Banks over the last 24 hours. But if I can put it up in post edit, I will. But AJ Lee posting up the old super ultra high top Chuck Taylors. Her old wrestling boots, if you will. The ultra high Chuck Taylors. She just posted a photo of her wrestling gear. The boots, if you will. And the caption was just, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Of course, from the Sound of Silence, which is fitting, right? She's been pretty silent for the 9 years that she's been away from WWE. Hasn't mentioned WWE or said too much about them. There was never animosity, really, aside from what happened with Punk in WWE. WWE has always loved AJ. I say this all the time. You look in a short amount of time, in just a couple, 2-3 years, what they allowed AJ Lee to go and achieve. They made her the general manager of their Monday Night Raw show. This little AJ Lee girl. This little girl is the general manager of Monday Night Raw. That shows you how much they believed in her. They put her in massive storylines with John Cena, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, the top names in the business she was tussling with. They made her the Divas champion, would have been multi-time straight-up women's champion if it wasn't called the Divas title, which was one of the best storylines, by the way. AJ pissed off that it's even a Divas division. And man, that was so fun. You had the total Divas side, and then you had the AJ Lee side, which didn't want to be known as a diva, doesn't even want a Divas championship. She wants the women's championship. She just did so much, guys. Major matches at WrestleMania. And then, unfortunately, the thing happened with Punk, and she was just gone. And 9 years have gone by. You don't realize that, right? Time flies. 9 years you have not seen AJ Lee. But with her husband going back to WWE recently, all of the teases and the mentions, she found that this is the time, just a few weeks before the Royal Rumble, to at least spark the speculation, spark the curiosity, spark the interest, the intrigue, right? The Rumble is in a few weeks. Let me post up my old wrestling gear. Hello, darkness, my old friend. The Chuck Taylors are back. It's not coincidence, obviously. She knows exactly what she's doing when the post goes out, and all I gotta say is, let's do this. AJ Lee, Royal Rumble. Could you imagine? Listen, if you can't land Sasha or you don't, I mean, that's one way to... You're not going to fill the void of somebody like Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. But man, that will appease a big portion of that audience. If Light It Up plays at the Royal Rumble, that theme music hits and here comes AJ skipping out. And could you imagine a big match at WrestleMania? She's still in great shape, guys. I know it's been 9 years. She's 9 years older. You're thinking she's got 7 kids, total mom bod. No, she's in great shape. She has said many times she can get back in the ring if she wanted to. It just has to be something solid, something for her to sink her teeth into, something worthwhile. Well, I mean, WWE is set for a little bit of a... I mean, there's going to be a big uptick going into WrestleMania season. This is when a lot of casual and lapsed fans come back. Ratings, hopefully anyway. I know it seems like a pipe dream, but ratings will go up. Hopefully in the hundreds of thousands more viewers coming back. You got so many top baby faces. Hopefully there'll be some good storylines. AJ Lee returning. I don't know. Listen, I'm not the one starting the speculation. AJ Lee is, all right? Take it up with her. All I'm saying is that's what she put out there. So obviously now the next move is just putting pen to paper, even if it's just for a little 6-month run, right? Test out the waters like Trish Stratus did recently, and then she ended up re-signing for another, I think she did a 3-year deal, right? If you guys look right now on the Raw roster for not the alumni section, the actual Raw roster is Trish Stratus. She is a member right now. And recently, I think Trish actually let the cat out of the bag. I don't think she's trying to hide that. In a recent interview, Trish actually said 2024, she's coming back. Or like alluded to it too much. And it pretty much, if that was supposed to be a secret, it's not. Trish Stratus is coming back 2024. But that started just testing out the waters, a little 6-month program. And then she was like, well, this is fun, man. This is better than when I was last here, actually. I'm having a lot more fun. The locker room's cooler. Let's go. How do you guys feel about AJ Lee coming back, man? Is that something you'd look forward to? Or do you think, time's passed, we've moved on. There's enough ladies on the roster now. We have to concentrate on them, BC. If you're asking, man, of course, I've been waiting 9 years to see AJ Lee back, man. It's a BC. That was the real catalyst to the women's revolution. And I know the cliche answer is no, BC. Everybody was, BC. It was Paige and it was this person. And no, they had a piece of the pie, right? Like if it's a pie, like everybody had a little bit of a piece, I understand. But the baker was AJ Lee. She was the one making all these pies. AJ Lee, do you understand what she did, man? The pipe, do you guys remember her pipe bomb against the Divas? I think it was like the Bella Twins and maybe somebody else. And they were at ringside and AJ was at the top of the ramp and she was delivering a great, her version of a pipe bomb. And she was just taking out anything to do with a diva. And it was so great. And then she really was an advocate for more women's time in matches. The whole give women a chance. I think it was like a hashtag, something like that. AJ Lee was doing all of it. Some wrestlers were doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some of the females were into this, some into that, and they were all helping. But man, AJ Lee was the flag bearer. She was the one right at the front of it all. She even tussled up with Stephanie McMahon a little bit. Stephanie loves AJ, by the way, but they tussled a little bit because she really went on even social to try to get women more time in matches and you name it. AJ Lee, I don't think you guys understand how instrumental she was in the wrestling business behind the scenes, not just in the ring. So, an advocate for real change, AJ Lee. I think I spent too much time on that, actually, because there's more topics, and I don't have a lot of time to talk about them, because I got to hit the road. But the next big name, Andrade. Okay, so we're talking Sasha Banks. Deals have not ended with WWE yet. They're still in talks. They've just paused them till after the new year. So maybe Monday Night Raw, she'll be invited, and maybe her and Paul Levesque McMahon will sit down. We'll see. AJ Lee is teasing, not a WWE return per se, but teasing, putting on the... No, she's not even... She put on the Chuck Taylors. Those Chuck Taylors are on. We'll see. AJ Lee, Sasha, and now Andrade is where we will go next. Andrade just had a match last night. Worlds collide, worlds end, worlds are doing things. It was an AEW Alternative Entertainment Wrestling pay-per-view last night, in which a devil was revealed to be Adam Cole. And Adam Cole, MJF is banged up, so he's going to be off for a few months. So they did the reveal. This is what a lot of fans are saying. It just doesn't make sense because they did the reveal. That's the person that they want, MJF, but MJF is now off television for a few months. And when he comes back, there's not even a title to go after. So a lot of fans are like, well, is this the best way we could have done this? I'm looking at the positive side, though, actually. Samoa Joe is the new champ. So that actually, I'm looking at see, when something happens, I look about what it does for the individuals, what it does for the company, what it does going forward, what you can do storyline-wise. And for me, I'm thinking Samoa Joe is the perfect badass heel right now to set up a lot of baby faces for the next 6 to 9 months, bare minimum. Set up, really create. Let's see who's got it babyface-wise. So I think this could be really good for the face side of AEW, Samoa Joe being the champion. But I'm just telling you guys, I didn't see the event. I'm telling you guys what a lot of fans that caught that show, they're saying it was not one of AEW's better shows. There was some just odd decision making. Some people are calling it WCW Vince Russo level booking decisions last night for AEW. And one of the biggest booking botches they're saying was Edge and Christian. I guess Edge won the championship over Christian, and then the dinosaur comes out to cash in his whatever he's cashing in, but he gives it to Christian to cash in. So then Christian but he defeats Edge. I'm already confusing myself. So Edge wins the title, but the dinosaur, Luchasaurus, Kill Switch, whatever you call this dude, he comes down to cash in, gives it to Christian. Christian ends up just spearing Edge and takes his title back. So Edge was never really the champ, but he was for 3 minutes. I don't know. Again, when you don't see the event, you're just like, you're A, reading it, and then B, you're listening to fans just be befuddled by it that did watch it. It's not the best. It's not a raving review. Let's just say that. A lot of odd decisions. And the women's matches, from what I'm hearing, again, I didn't see the event. From what I'm hearing from fans that saw it, the women's matches completely failed. The Julia Hart match, I guess there was a botch on a moonsault. That's just what I'm being told. And then I guess my girl, I love her, Sky Blue, she was the only kind of catalyst at the finish. So I don't know, guys. It didn't sound like a lot of people were raving about this event. But I bring it up because Andrade was on this show against Miro. How funny is that? Because for months and months and months, we've been saying, wow, those are two names we thought if Tony Khan gets, they're going to be booked properly. Where Vince dropped the ball, Tony will pick it up. And Andrade and Miro, he just never knew what to do with them. So it's just odd to see Andrade's last match in AEW be against Miro. And I guess Lana turned on Andrade and is now hooked up with Miro. There was no other way to go because we're hearing that Andrade, that was his last match. Even before this pay-per-view went on the air, we were hearing that Andrade had a heated discussion with Tony Khan. And he doesn't want to be there anymore. He wants out. This comes off the heel of Charlie Flair recently re-signing with WWE, a big, massive contract for Charlie Flair, multi-year extension. And then here we are just a week later, and Andrade's like, I'm out. That's like the stipulation in the contract for Charlie. I want a lot more money, and I want my mans with me. Andrade's got to come with me. So I'm just playing around. But Andrade knows that him, Miro, and many others, Tony Khan doesn't know how to book them. They're not, quote, favorites, right? And every promoter has favorites. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's just the case. So Andrade would rather be with his wife and working with Levesque McMahon. They've always been pretty tight. So we'll see now. There's reports, honestly, guys, no joke, there's reports saying he could show up on Monday. You know, there was all these reports. I told you, there's a lot of reports, a lot of breaking news. But 24 hours ago, there was this report that there's a former champion showing up to Monday Night Raw. We don't know the name. There's just a former champion. Paul Levesque McMahon actually went to social and confirmed it. He says, well, I can't say anything about this former champ. All I can say is stay tuned. But the report was specifically from Monday Night Raw. So somebody big is showing up for Monday night. Do they mean former NXT champion, former world champion, both? Who knows? Is it a champion at all? And maybe that part of the report was a little false, but somebody big is coming. Could Andrade show up Monday? Maybe there is no compete. I don't know. Tony Khan actually commented on this. And Tony Khan says, yes, I can confirm Andrade's contract ends at the end of the year. The end of the year is today. It's the 31st. As far as I know, no month has a 32nd date. December 34th. No, it doesn't work that way. This is the end of the year. So the first Raw of the new year is January 1st. So technically, in Tony Khan's words, because there's no suspension from what we're hearing, there's no termination, there's not a release. He said the contract ends at the end of the year. Andrade could absolutely show up on Raw. That would defeat the purpose of wanting to be with your wife, though, if she is on SmackDown. But then again, she's injured, so would it matter where he goes right now? Probably not. I told you there's a lot to go over. I said I got 15 to 20 minutes. I'm already over that, guys. I can only speak so fast. And I'm not even done. Kevin Dunn, speaking of being done, Kevin Dunn is leaving, exiting WWE. I can't believe I'm even saying that. You talk about one of Vincent Kennedy and Paul Levesque McMahon's right-hand men. I mean, Paul Levesque McMahon knows how big Kevin Dunn is, how much work he's done for NXT, and I'm talking black and gold. Kevin Dunn has done so much, and I think the writing was on the wall when Vince took such a backseat. I think Kevin Dunn knew the days were kind of limited at that point for him inside of those walls. And Kevin Dunn is now. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, production-wise, that's going to be horrible. But Kevin Dunn is really good at production, guys. He just is. Kevin Dunn is masterful. And the word that we're getting is he's been training people before he leaves. He's given a whole 2-month notice. And I'm not even hearing that he's gone yet, even though this would be the time. A fresh new year, you're out of the company. But I was hearing that he's going to work the Day 1 event, Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So we'll see, but he has been training people, but there's nobody going to be, production-wise, to the skill set of Kevin Dunn. There's just nobody. Now, on the other side of it, why it's good for the company is he had a lot of stroke in that company. It wasn't just production. When he looked at Vince or he looked at Paul Levesque McMahon and he said he doesn't want to work with somebody, he doesn't want to see somebody on the TV, so he's not going to produce it. Things like that, guys, they were done. They were axed. There's been people that have been fired. There's been people that did not get TV time. Kevin Dunn doesn't like you. That's going to have ramifications within that roster as far as TV time, who you're seeing, who's sitting at home, who's at catering, who might not have a job the next day. So Kevin Dunn had perhaps too much stroke, and it was becoming an issue. It has been for years. So in that aspect, it's actually good and a fresh start for the company. So Kevin Dunn, the man responsible for everything you see production-wise, leaving WWE. That is still wild to even comprehend. Guys, there was even more, actually, that wasn't picking up as big of headlines, but pretty significant and substantial enough to talk about. But unfortunately, I'm already over my allotted time, and I'm running late, and I haven't had my coffee. That's just where we are. I'll keep up on all this. The good news is we're right back at it tomorrow, right? Monday Night Raw. It's a big Day 1 event, almost like a mini little pay-per-view, big world title match, Sethington Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, and several other big matches, and Paul Levesque McMahon teasing a big return tomorrow. Could be anybody at this point, man. You got the Sasha news, Andrade, AJ Lee. The only person leaving is Kevin Dunn. What, you don't like the party? Guys, until next time, and there will be that next time, we will take it into the new year. This is the final upload. I can say that now. The final upload of 2023. The first upload will be early tomorrow morning. Packers-Vikings review, NFL Week 17. For now, top guys, we are out. BC, say check you. Peace.